noch den ganzen Tag bis 15:30 Uhr. Großes Programm, sowie auch die ganze Woche über bis einschließlich Freitag über Themen Automatisierung, Robotik, KI, Nachhaltigkeit etc. Und wir machen jetzt weiter mit Cord Edmondson, Senior Program Manager bei ACROBA. Und sein Thema ist eine reconfigurable and reproducible Robotic Platform for Agile Production. Und das ist ACROBA. Bitte, the stage is yours.
Hello. Hi. I'm Cord Edmondson. First, I'd like to say, obviously, no, I'm not Sonny Katara. He's a colleague of mine. He's the lead researcher and project manager at Irish Manufacturing Research, where I work. Wanted to give him credit for this. He really wanted to be here. Few things are more important than automation and robots, but reproducing human beings is. His wife is imminently giving birth, so that is why he is not here. He sends his apologies. And to get punny, speaking of reproduction, I'm here to talk about ACROBA, the reconfigurable and reproducible robotic platform for agile production. So I always like to start with what the challenges are for companies and what are the problems, because those are the motivations for why you're developing any new product or any new platform. So with ACROBA, we had several. The first came about through what we all just lived through, which was COVID. And this drastically changed how modern manufacturing facilities operated, especially for small to medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. They are often ill-equipped to deal with things like this. They're very historically manual, so lots of people in there doing things, and then when you strip them away and make it impossible for them to go to work and do those tasks, everyone starts thinking, oh boy, how do we automate this? How do we find other ways to do that? So that was definitely kind of an event that pushed us there. The next was we can see things that make automation look easy. And in this case, we're pulling on something that Tesla has done. They have a showroom where you can go in and make some selections, and they demonstrate a car being built in 45 seconds. Don't get me wrong, they're not building the car in 45 seconds, but they're demonstrating how easy it is to automate these things. So that makes you think, if we can demonstrate how easy it is, why can't it actually be easy to automate these things? The next is we've seen things over the last decade, especially from folks like Nike and many other shoe manufacturers, where they're taking mass customization to the next level. Someone can walk into a store now, have their foot scanned, and you've got a custom shoe built just for you. So you're able to do all these things that make it very, very easy to make a bespoke product, more or less in mass. And then this one, and I'll actually pop over to the next one because these two go together for me. Small to medium-sized enterprises, they historically lack in-house automation expertise. They also historically lack a lot of capital to do these things. So you have to make it really easy for them to do it. And that goes hand in hand with the case that only 5% of SMEs are able to automate major portions of their business, yet they're accountable for 95% of our economy. So we're missing a huge market here from the automation automation marketplace of places where you can automate, and it's not being leveraged properly. So for us in this team, this really isn't just a project, and I probably should have led with ACROBA is an EU project, pan-European partnership. We're partnered with folks all over Europe. I'm coming from Ireland. We have partners from Germany, Spain, France, others as well. I'm leaving some out, so I apologize there. So what is ACROBA in a nutshell? In a nutshell, it's a containerized platform that enables you to rapidly prototype and deploy automated systems. We're basing it off of Docker, something fairly familiar to everybody, but it's using all those same themes that you will have in a containerization platform. It enables you to take primitive skills and primitive tasks, link them together to form essentially a program of what you want done. This is done in an intuitive task planner, and it enables you to orchestrate what you need done when and with what hardware. Additionally, we have a really nice digital twin and optimized controls. We're trying to shorten that gap of sim to real. That way, when you go into a simulation environment, you've worked out what you need done, you've worked out your tolerances and all the hardware that's being utilized to do your task, and then you go to utilizing it on a real setup, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore. We're trying to shorten that a lot. That way it takes away a lot of that back and forth time between, well, it works here, why doesn't it work out on the floor? So removing that barrier is a key interest for our group. We have also built in a really nice human-robot collaboration setup to basically pull in your safeties in real time. In many cases at small to medium-sized enterprises, you still want manual activities happening near a robot cell. If you have a cobot, sometimes that's possible. Having a flexible safety setup and enabling that safety setup to deal with humans coming in and out of that zone when it's okay, that's a key aspect to the ACROBA platform. If you go to our website, there is a video here that explains ACROBA in much the same way that I'm doing here. So, for SMEs, ACROBA has been evaluated against several industry use cases. We have bin picking, both stacked and unstacking. We've got irregular geometric parts that we are inspecting as well as doing assembly tasks on. We have a fairly intuitive task demonstration paradigm that we're dealing with as well, with a MIG welding apparatus, and then collaborative discrete assembly, especially in the printed circuit board and PCBAs. And I'll have this video running in the background. So we have, let's see here. There it goes. A nice digital twin platform that gives you a really good idea of what you're designing, what you're bringing about, and then how it can be deployed on the floor. Here we've got some use cases where we're scanning a pallet. It's looking for flashing, it's looking for rough edges, it's looking for areas that have defects in them, and then it can move along to the next robot, and that can happen. Basically, you can have a milling action to take away flashing, rough edges, things of that nature. This is something that is being done with a fairly large product. It's a pallet, and since flashing always looks different, it's difficult to automate that because in some places you might have a little bit of flashing. The next time it comes off, it may have a lot of flashing. And so it's the kind of thing that's difficult to automate. But having a good flexible system like that, like ACROBA, is very beneficial. Motor windings are also very, very manual. I personally don't know of any systems that are automating the winding of motors. We're using that as a use case within ACROBA as well. And taking a lot of the humans out of the loop on this really stressful activity on their wrists as well as their fingertips. In this case, this is actually the ACROBA platform working on our physical demonstrator in Mullingar, Ireland, where we're recognizing blocks, stacking them in certain configurations to basically vet out an assembly paradigm. And then here is the demonstration use case that I spoke about earlier. We've got a user here named Ted that is running a welding torch in a specific action. And then as you say, yes, this is the activity I want you to perform, off it goes and it does it. And this is a demonstration of our safety paradigm. Nothing new in having a warning zone as well as a danger zone, but what we have implemented here is that an operator can come on one side of the robotic cell, the robot can continue operating on the other side, and vice versa. So, what's coming next? Sorry, let me go ahead and pop to the video here, guys. So what's coming next is we're going to continue working on the task planner. This is going to help us basically improve the robustness of orchestrating these skills and primitives together so that we can continue to develop new tasks. We're going to have an intuitive GUI, graphical user interface, for designing and defining task flow. We're also going to continue to expand and optimize our library of skills and tasks, basically what we call the primitives within the system. And then we're also implementing fiber optical sensor systems. It's really to help improve our human-robot collaboration. One of the early scenes in this video you saw basically a model of a spinal column being flexed, and that's because we had placed a fiber optic sensor on that spinal column so that we could better understand where the human was in the robot's environment. So that's a test we're doing within the safety system. And then you also saw up there on the video a demonstration of our current GUI. You could select different tasks, select hardware, select through basic visual programming when and where you want those to happen, assign them time values, and you can be off and running. So what have we done for the community? A big part of EU projects is dissemination, is outreach, is showing where people can engage and how they can utilize this. We've done that through some hackathons. We've called them ACROBathons. Duesto in Spain has successfully performed one with some students. And basically these students came in, and they're a really wonderful use case for users of our system because they're students. They are not automation professionals that know how to get in there and build robotic cells their own way or the way they've been doing it for 5 or 10 years. So a student is really an open palette of showing them a new way to do something, as well as having, let's just say, more junior skills in the automation and robotics scene. And so it really is a fantastic litmus test for us as researchers, whether or not this platform is easy to pick up. Can we hand it to someone that's, say, an engineer from another field and enable them to get up and running and automate something that they're doing quickly? And we had really good results with these folks from within the Duesto hackathon. These students came in, they were awarded a small prize that a junior robotics engineer would love to have. It was basically a little robotics kit. And they came in and they did a handwriting task where they just wrote out ACROBA, and they were able to do it faster than everybody else. So that's a pretty good use case there. Additionally, we're going to have some technology demonstrations, basically open days where we can come and show off this platform to interested parties, and then do some technology transfer and workshops with them, not only so that we can improve it, but also just show them that it's available and so that they can start earmarking it for their future budgets. So, ACROBA's out there for the general public. I'm going to pop forward on a couple slides and just talk all of these. What we're also trying to do in terms of outreach and getting this out in the community is we're shortlisting 2 manufacturing scenarios that we can further exploit. As I've shown, we've already got use case partners. They were written into the program from the beginning, but we wanted to pull more in. So if you know of any small to medium-sized enterprises or even multinationals, we're not necessarily turning them away, but again, we are building this for the SME community. If you have partners, manufacturing partners out there that might be interested in something like this, give us a call. We can easily set it up and run you through some questionnaires to figure out if ACROBA is right for you. And if it is, then you can be eligible to partake in this part of our program. So really what we want to do is upskill these SMEs in being able to use this platform and bring a new automation paradigm into their business. So as part of that, we're putting out a call for 2 proposals under public and private partnerships. And the technology transfer can come with some funding up to $50K under the FSTP program. And the entry point is getting in touch with folks like us. The organizations can leverage those modular ACROBA assets and get started with it. I think that's it. Thank you for bearing with me. I apologize for not being as smooth as my colleague would have been, but happy to take whatever questions you have.
Thank you.